Hana was sleeping again. This was not strange for Hana. She slept a lot. But it was very strange for everyone else on the space station. They could not understand how a human could sleep so much. The recreation deck was busy today. Many different aliens walked around, talked, and did their daily work. But Hana just lay in her chair with a soft blanket pulled up to her chin. Her black hair fell over her face. Her breathing was slow and steady. Duhan watched her from across the room. He was a Valerian. His people looked like big insects with green skin and 4 arms. Duhan had been studying humans for 3 years now. But he still did not understand them. How does she do that? Duhan asked his friend Taeho. Taeho was different from Duhan. He was a Korthon. His people looked like big lizards that walked on 2 legs. They had thick skin and sharp teeth. Taeho was the head of security on the station. Do what? Taeho asked. He was reading reports on his tablet. Sleep like that, Duhan said. She has been sleeping for 4 hours. 4 hours. My people cannot sleep more than 30 minutes at a time. We have to watch for danger. Taeho looked up from his tablet. He looked at Hana. Humans are soft, he said. They come from a death world, but they act weak. Look at her. She sleeps in the open, where anyone can see her, where anyone can attack her. Duhan moved his 4 arms in a way that meant he was confused, but that is what I do not understand. Earth is one of the most dangerous planets we know. The gravity is too strong. The weather is too wild. The animals are too mean. The plants can kill you. Even the air has too much oxygen for most of us. Oh, Taeho said. So how can someone from that world be so ... Duhan looked for the right word. So calm? Hana made a small sound in her sleep. She turned over in her chair. The blanket almost fell off, but she caught it without opening her eyes. She is not calm, said a new voice. She is lazy. Duhan and Taeho turned around. Soyoung was walking toward them. She was also human, but very different from Hana. Soyoung wore a military uniform. Her hair was short and neat. She stood very straight. She was the military advisor for the station. Good morning, Advisor Soyoung, Duhan said politely. Is it good? Soyoung asked. She looked tired. I have been working all night. We have problems in the lower levels. What kind of problems? Taeho asked. The kind we do not talk about in public, Soyoung said quietly. She looked around the recreation deck. Many aliens were sitting at tables, eating food, or playing games. But nothing for you to worry about now. Duhan looked back at Hana. Can I ask you something about your people? Sure, Soyoung said. Why does she sleep so much? Is she sick? Soyoung smiled for the first time. Hana, no, she is not sick. She is just ... Hana. She has always been like this. But how can she be so relaxed? Duhan asked. She is from a death world. Should she not be more careful, more ready for danger? Looked at Hana, her smile got bigger. You want to know a secret? Duhan and Taeho both leaned closer. Yesterday morning, Hana did her exercise routine, Soyoung said. What kind of exercise? Taeho asked. She lifted weights. The same weights that we use to build new parts of the station. 500 pounds, she lifted them like they were toys. Then she ran for an hour on the treadmill, but not just any treadmill. She used the one for heavy gravity training. The one set to Earth gravity. Duhan's forearms shook. Earth gravity was more than twice what he was used to. Running in that gravity would kill him. After that, Soyoung continued, she went to combat training. She fought against 3 of our best security robots at the same time. She won in under 2 minutes. Taeho's eyes got wide. Those robots were made to train soldiers. They were fast and strong. Then what did she do? Duhan asked. She came here, got some food, and took a nap, Soyoung said. She said she was tired. Duhan looked at Hana again. She looked so small and soft. Her hands were not big. Her arms did not look strong. But she was sleeping without fear, in a place full of aliens. From different worlds. I still do not understand, Duhan said. What do you not understand? Soyoung asked. If she is so strong, Why does she act so, normal? Soyoung thought about this for a moment. Do you know what Hana told me when she first came to this station? What? She said this place was relaxing. She said it was nice to be somewhere quiet for once. Quiet, Taeho said. This station has 3,000 people from 50 different worlds. We have ships coming and going every day. We have construction work, research labs, and training areas. How is this quiet? Compared to Earth, Soyoung said. This is very quiet. Doohan tried to imagine what Earth must be like. He had read reports, but reading was different from understanding. On Earth, the storms could destroy cities. The animals hunted things bigger than most aliens. The plants could eat meat. Even the weather was trying to kill you, and humans lived there. They grew up there. They called it home. Hana made another small sound. She was dreaming about something. Her face looked peaceful, happy, even. She passed all her tests, right? Doohan asked. All of them, Soyoung said. Combat, survival, emergency response, alien contact protocols. She got perfect scores. How? She said they were easy. Doohan felt a chill run through his body. Easy. The tests were designed to be hard for trained military people from any world. Most aliens needed months to prepare. Many failed. I need to ask, Taeho said slowly. Is Hana normal? For a human, I mean. Soyoung looked at him for a long moment. What do you think normal means? I mean, is she special? Is she a soldier like you? A fighter? Hana is a college student, Soyoung said. She studies art, she likes to draw pictures and read books. Before she came here, she worked part-time at a coffee shop. The three of them stood there, watching Hana sleep. She looked like the most harmless thing in the galaxy. But she came from a world that would kill most aliens just by existing there. And she thought this space station was relaxing. I need to go, Soyoung said. Work calls, but Doohan, yes. You wanted to understand humans, here is some advice. Do not try to understand us, just accept that we are different, very different. Soyoung walked away, leaving Doohan and Taeho alone with their thoughts. Hana slept on, peaceful and quiet, while the galaxy moved around her. The alarm started screaming at exactly 2:47 in the afternoon. The sound was loud and sharp. It hurt Doohan's ears. Red lights began flashing all over the recreation deck. The peaceful afternoon was suddenly full of noise and fear. All around the room, aliens jumped up from their chairs. Some dropped their food. Others knocked over their drinks. Everyone started talking at once in different languages. What is happening? A small blue alien asked. Is it a fire? Asked another. Are we under attack? But Hana did not move. She was still sleeping in her chair. The blanket was still pulled up to her chin. The loud alarm and flashing lights did not wake her up. Doohan stared at her. How could anyone sleep through this noise? The speakers around the room crackled to life. A voice spoke in the common galactic language. It was Minho, the station administrator. Attention all personnel, Minho's voice said. He sounded scared. Very scared. We have a code red emergency on level 7. This is not a drill. All civilians must go to safe areas immediately. Security teams report to your stations now. Doohan felt his forearms start to shake. Code red was the worst kind of emergency. It meant something was very dangerous and very wrong. Taeho's communicator made a beeping sound. He grabbed it quickly. This is Taeho, he said. A voice came from the communicator. It was hard to hear over the alarm. Sir, we need you in the control room right now. Something has escaped from biocontainment. Level 7, escaped, Taeho said. What escaped? The Nexus Ripper, sir. Doohan heard those words and felt ice in his blood. A Nexus Ripper, here, on their station. Taeho's face went white. Even his green lizard skin looked pale. How many are dead? He asked quietly. 3 security guards so far, sir. Killed them in less than 10 seconds. Taeho closed his communicator. He looked at Doohan. You need to get to a safe room. Now, what about Hana? Doohan asked. He looked at the sleeping human girl. She had not moved at all. Forget about her. She is human. She will be fine, Taeho said. But he did not sound sure. I have to go. Taeho ran toward the exit. His heavy boots made loud sounds on the metal floor. Du-hun looked around the recreation deck. Most of the aliens were leaving. They were walking fast toward the safe areas. Some were running, a few were crying. But not everyone was leaving. Some aliens were too scared to move. They sat in their chairs and shook. Others were too confused to know what to do, and Hana was still sleeping. Du-hun walked over to her chair. He reached out with one of his 4 arms and touched her shoulder gently. Hana, he said softly. Hana, you need to wake up. Hana made a small sound. She turned her head but did not open her eyes. Hana, there is danger. We need to go to the safe rooms. Hana said. 5 more minutes. No, Hana, we need to go now. Hana pulled the blanket over her head. Too loud, she said. Turn off the music. Du-hun could not believe it. She thought the emergency alarm was music. She thought this was all just noise that was stopping her from sleeping. The speakers crackled again. This time, it was a different voice. It was So-young, the human military advisor. All personnel, listen carefully, So-young said. Her voice was calm but serious. A Nexus Ripper has escaped from the biolabs. This creature is 12 feet tall and weighs over 800 pounds. It has 6 arms with claws that can cut through metal. Its skin is too thick for most weapons. It is very fast and very smart. Du-hun felt more afraid. Nexus Rippers were from the Andromeda sector. They were apex predators. They hunted other predators for food. They were the things that scared everything else. The creature is moving toward the upper levels, So-young continued. It is following scent trails to find living beings. If you see this creature, do not try to fight it. Do not try to run. Get to the nearest safe room and lock the door. Security teams are working to contain the situation. Du-hun tried to wake Hana again. Hana, please. There is a monster on the station. A very dangerous monster. Hana opened one eye. She looked at Du-hun with a sleepy, confused expression. Monster, she said. Double quotes. Yes, a Nexus Ripper. It has escaped, and it is coming this way. Hana closed her eye again. That's nice, she said. Du-hun wanted to scream. How could she be so calm? How could she not understand? More aliens were leaving the recreation deck now. The room was getting empty fast. Soon, it would just be Du-hun, Hana, and a few others who were too scared to move. Du-hun's communicator beeped. He answered it quickly. Du-hun, where are you? It was his supervisor from the research lab. I am still in the recreation deck, Du-hun said. You need to get out of there now. The creature is moving toward your area. Our sensors show it will reach the recreation deck in less than 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Du-hun looked at Hana. She was sleeping again. I am trying to wake up a human. Du-hun said. Leave her. Humans are tough. She will figure it out, but she is just sleeping. She does not know about the danger. Du-hun, you need to save yourself. Get to safe room C7 right now. The communicator went quiet. Du-hun looked around. Only a few aliens were left in the big room. The alarm was still screaming. The red lights were still flashing dot, and somewhere in the station, a monster was coming their way. Du-hun made a choice. He could not leave Hana alone. Even if she was human. Even if humans were supposed to be tough. It was not right to leave someone sleeping when danger was coming. He sat down in the chair next to Hana. If the monster came here, he would wake her up, then they could run together. But deep down, Du-hun knew the truth. When a Nexus Ripper found you, there was nowhere to run. The alarm kept screaming. The lights kept flashing, and Hana kept sleeping, peaceful and quiet. Like nothing in the universe could hurt her, but Du-hun knew better. He knew that in a few minutes, one of the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy would walk through that door. He just hoped Hana would wake up in time. The recreation deck was almost empty now. Du-hun sat in his chair next to Hana. His forearms were shaking. The alarm was still screaming. The red lights made everything look like it was covered in blood. Only 3 other aliens were still in the room. They were hiding under tables at the far end. They were too scared to move, too scared to run. Hana was still sleeping. Du-han checked his communicator. No new messages. He looked at the time. The creature should be here any minute now. He tried one more time to wake Hana. "Hana," he whispered. "Please wake up, please." Hana made a small sound and turned over. The blanket slipped down to her waist, but her eyes stayed closed. Then Du-han heard it, a sound like metal being torn apart. It came from somewhere close. Somewhere in the walls, the sound came again. Louder this time, closer. Crash. The main door to the recreation deck exploded inward. Pieces of metal flew across the room. The door was thick and strong, but now it was just broken pieces on the floor. In the doorway stood the Nexus Ripper. Dotun had seen pictures of these creatures before, but seeing one in real life was different. Much different. The monster was huge, 12 feet tall, just like Soyoung had said. But seeing it made those words feel small. It filled the entire doorway. Its body was covered in black skin that looked like armor. 6 arms hung from its shoulders. Each arm ended in claws as long as Du-han's hand. Its head was the worst part. The head looked like a skull with too many teeth. Eyes like red fire looked around the room. When it breathed, steam came out of its nose. The creature stepped into the room. Its feet were huge. Each step made a sound like thunder. The 3 aliens hiding under the tables made small crying sounds. One of them tried to run. The Nexus Ripper's head turned toward the sound, fast. Too fast. Du-han held his breath. He did not move. He did not make any sound. The creature looked around the room. Its red eyes studied everything. The broken tables, the scattered food, the aliens hiding in the corners. Then it saw Ha-na. The Nexus Ripper's head turned toward her sleeping form. Its nostrils got bigger as it smelled the air. Steam came out faster now. Du-han wanted to scream. He wanted to run, but he could not move. Fear had frozen his body like ice. The monster walked toward Hana's chair. Each step was slow and careful, like a hunter getting ready to kill. The creature was smart. Du-han could see it thinking, planning. It knew Hana was alive. It could smell her breathing, but she was not moving, not running. This confused the beast. Most things ran when they saw a Nexus Ripper. Running made the hunt fun. Running made the kill taste better. But Hana was not running. She was just lying there, peaceful and still. The creature got closer. 5 steps away, 4 steps. 3. Du-han could smell the monster now. It smelled like acid and death. Like old blood and burnt metal. The Nexus Ripper stopped right next to Hana's chair. It looked down at her with its red eyes. Its mouth opened, showing rows of sharp teeth. Saliva dripped from its mouth onto the floor. Where the saliva hit, it made small holes in the metal. The creature raised one of its 6 arms. The claws were as sharp as knives. They could cut through steel. Hana's soft human skin would be like paper. The arm came down slowly. The claws got closer to Hana's face. Du-han closed his eyes. He could not watch. Then Hana's eyes opened. Not fast, not scared, just ... Opened like someone had turned on a light in a dark room. She looked up at the Nexus Ripper. The monster's claws were inches from her face. Its red eyes were staring right at her. Its mouth was open and ready to bite. Hana blinked once, twice. Then she said, seriously. Her voice was not scared. It was not worried. It sounded ... annoyed, like someone had just asked her to do something boring. The Nexus Ripper made a sound. It was confused. In all its life, nothing had ever looked at it without fear. Nothing had ever sounded bored when facing death. Hana sat up a little in her chair. Not much. Just enough to get a better look at the creature. Do you know what time it is? She asked the monster. The Nexus Ripper tilted its head. This was not how prey was supposed to act. It's nap time, Hana said. Nap time means quiet time. Nap time means leave people alone time. She looked around the recreation deck. She saw the broken door, the scattered furniture, the holes in the floor from the creature's acid saliva. "And you made a mess," she said. "I hate messes." Hana stretched her arms over her head, like she was getting ready to exercise. The blanket fell to the floor. Duhan opened his eyes. He could not believe what he was seeing. Hana was talking to the monster like it was a rude neighbor, like it was just some annoying thing that had woken her up. The Nexus Ripper raised all 6 of its arms. Its claws caught the red light from the emergency lamps. It made a sound like a roar and a scream mixed together. Hana looked at the creature's claws, she looked at its teeth, she looked at its red eyes. Then she sighed. "Okay," she said. "If that's how you want to do this." Hana looked to her left. There was a metal chair next to her sleeping chair. It was big and heavy, made for large aliens like Tejo's people. It probably weighed 60 pounds. Still lying in her original chair, Hana reached over with her right hand. She grabbed the metal chair by one of its legs. The Nexus Ripper saw her move. All 6 arms came down at once. Claws aimed at her head, her chest, her arms. A killing blow that could cut a person into pieces. But Hana was not there anymore. Well, she was still there, still lying in her chair, but the metal chair in her hand was moving fast, moving like a weapon. Hun could not follow what happened. Next, it was too fast, too impossible. Hana swung the 60-pound metal chair like it was made of air, like it weighed nothing, like it was just a stick she had picked up in a park. The chair moved in a lazy arc, almost slow, almost casual. It hit the Nexus Ripper, right in the center of its skull. The sound was like thunder and lightning happening at the same time. The monster stopped moving. All 6 arms froze in the air. Its red eyes went dark. Then it fell. The Nexus Ripper, one of the most dangerous creatures in the known galaxy, fell like a tree. It hit the floor with a crash that shook the entire room and did not move again. Hana looked at the dead monster for a moment. Then she looked at the metal chair. In her hand, it was bent now, twisted from the impact. "Great," she said. "Now, I broke the chair too." She dropped the bent chair onto the floor next to the creature's head. Then she lay back down in her original chair, pulled her blanket up to her chin, and closed her eyes. "Someone please clean this up," she said. "I'm trying to sleep." And just like that, Hana was napping again. Duhan sat in his chair, staring at the scene. His 4 arms were still shaking, but now it was not from fear, it was from shock. A human girl had just killed a Nexus Ripper with a chair, while lying down without even getting up, and now she was going back to sleep. Duhan finally understood what Soyoung had meant. Humans were very, very different. Duhan sat very still for a long time. The alarm was still screaming. The red lights were still flashing. But the recreation deck was quiet now. The only sounds were Hana's soft breathing and the hum of the air system. The Nexus Ripper was dead. Very dead. Its huge body lay on the floor like a black mountain. The bent metal chair was still next to its head. Some of the chair's metal had actually gone into the creature's skull. The impact had been that strong. Duhan looked at Hana. She was sleeping again. Her face was peaceful. Her hands were folded on her chest. She looked like nothing had happened at all. But something had happened. Something impossible. Duhan tried to understand what he had seen. A Nexus Ripper was supposed to be unstoppable. Its skin was like armor. Its bones were harder than steel. Military weapons could barely hurt these creatures, but Hana had killed it with furniture, while lying down. With one swing, Duhan's communicator beeped. He answered it with a shaking hand. "Duhan, are you alive?" It was his supervisor. "Yes," Duhan said quietly. "Thank the stars. We lost contact with that area. The security cameras went dark. We thought the creature had killed everyone there." Duhan looked at the dead monster. "The creature is here." "What?" "Get out of there right now. Run." "I cannot run," Duhan said. "Why not? Are you hurt?" "No, I am not hurt, but the creature is dead." The communicator was quiet for a moment. "What did you say?" "The Nexus Ripper is dead." That is impossible. Security teams are still trying to get to your location. They have heavy weapons and combat armor. How could it be dead? Duhan looked at Hana again. A human killed it. Which human So-young did she get there with her squad? No, Duhan said. Hana killed it. Hana, the art student, the one who sleeps all the time. Yes. The communicator was quiet again. For a long time. Duhan, are you sure you are not hurt? Do you have head trauma? Are you seeing things? I'm fine, Duhan said. I watched it happen. Hana killed the Nexus Ripper with a chair. A chair. A metal chair. She hit it once and it died. Duhan, I am sending medical help. You are clearly in shock. The communicator went quiet. Duhan put the device away. He knew no one would believe him. It sounded crazy. It was crazy, but it had happened. Heavy footsteps came from the hallway. Many heavy footsteps. Running. Taeho burst through the broken doorway. He was wearing full combat armor and carrying a plasma rifle. Behind him came 6 more security officers. They all had weapons and armor. They stopped when they saw the scene. By the void, Taeho whispered. The security team spread out around the room. They kept their weapons pointed at the dead creature, like they thought it might get up and attack again. Taeho walked slowly toward the Nexus Ripper's body. He poked it with his rifle. The creature did not move. It's really dead, one of the officers said. How? Taeho asked. The human killed it, Duhan said. Taeho looked at Duhan. Then he looked at Hana. She was still sleeping. So-young killed it, Taeho asked. No, Hana. Taeho stared at the sleeping girl, the art student. Yes. How? Duhan pointed at the bent metal chair. She hit it with that. Taeho walked over to the chair. He tried to lift it. Even bent and broken, it was heavy. It took all his strength to pick it up. She threw this at the creature, Taeho asked. No, she swung it like a weapon while lying in her chair. Taeho put the chair down. He looked at Hana again. Then he looked at the dead monster. Then back at Hana. That is impossible, he said. I saw it happen, Duhan said. More footsteps came from the hallway. So-young appeared in the doorway. She was wearing combat gear and carrying weapons. Behind her were more human soldiers. So-young stopped when she saw the dead Nexus Ripper. She whistled. Well, she said. Someone beat us here. Advisor So-young, Taeho said. Did your team kill this creature? My team? So-young looked around the room. We just got here. Who killed it? Taeho pointed at Hana. According to Duhan, she did. So-young looked at Hana. She was not surprised. She just nodded. Makes sense, So-young said. Makes sense? Taeho's voice got higher. A college student killed a Nexus Ripper with furniture, and that makes sense to you. Have you seen Hana's test scores? So-young asked. Test scores do not matter when fighting a monster. So-young smiled. You still do not understand humans, do you? Explain it to me then. So-young walked over to Hana's chair. She looked down at the sleeping girl with something like pride. Hana is from Seoul, So-young said. Do you know what Seoul is like? No, Taeho said. 25 million people living in one city. The air is thick and heavy. The noise never stops. Every day, people push and rush and fight for space. The subway trains are so crowded that people get crushed. The traffic is so bad that cars do not move for hours. So-young looked at the dead Nexus Ripper. Hana grew up in that world. She walked to school every day through crowds that would terrify most aliens. She lived her whole life in conditions that would drive other species insane, and she calls it home. But the creature, Taeho started. The creature was big and scary, So-young said. But it was just one creature. In a quiet room, with lots of space to move. For Hana, this was probably the most relaxing fight she has ever had. Duhan felt his understanding of the universe shift a little. He had thought Earth was dangerous because of the animals and weather. But maybe the most dangerous thing about Earth was living with so many humans in such a small space. Also, So-young added, Hana was tired. She gets cranky when people wake her up. One of the security officers was studying the creature's body. He called out to the group. The skull is completely crushed, he said. Whatever hit this thing had incredible force. The impact drove bone fragments into the brain. Death would have been instant. Taeho looked at the bent chair again. How much force would that take? For a Nexus Ripper skull, at least 3,000 pounds of pressure, the officer said. Everyone looked at Hana. She was still sleeping peacefully. 3,000 pounds, Taeho repeated slowly. That is about normal for an angry human, Soyoung said casually. Normal. You should see what happens when we are really mad. Hana made a small sound in her sleep. She turned over and pulled her blanket higher. Should we wake her up? Doohan asked. To ask what happened. No, Soyoung said quickly. Let her sleep. Trust me on this. You do not want to wake up a human who just fought something while trying to nap. She is already going to be grumpy about the noise and mess. The alarm, finally, stopped screaming. The red lights turned off. Normal lighting came back on. In the new light, the scene looked even more impossible. A 12-foot monster dead on the floor, a bent metal chair, and a small human girl sleeping peacefully next to both. So what do we tell the station commander? Taeho asked. The truth, Soyoung said. Hana killed the Nexus Ripper. No one will believe it. Then show them the security footage. The cameras were damaged in the attack. Soyoung pulled out a small device. Good thing I was recording from the hallway cameras then. She showed them the screen. There was Hana lying in her chair. There was the Nexus Ripper raising its claws to strike. There was the casual swing of the metal chair. And there was the instant death of one of the galaxy's most feared predators. I am going to watch this video many times, Soyoung said. This is going in the training manual. Doohan looked at Hana one last time. She looked so normal, so harmless. But she had just done something impossible. Something that would change how the galaxy saw humans forever. And she was sleeping through all of it. 6 months later, the video had been watched 50 million times. The title was simple. Human student kills Nexus Ripper with chair while lying down. But the video was anything but simple. It was impossible. It was incredible. It was the most famous piece of footage in the galaxy. On the planet Veltar, Doohan sat in a university classroom. He was teaching a course called Human Behavioral Studies. Today's lesson was about human strength. Can anyone tell me, Doohan asked his students, what a normal human can lift? A young Veltarian raised 2 of her 4 arms. 500 pounds. That is correct for trained humans, Doohan said. But what about untrained humans? Humans who are not soldiers or workers. 200 pounds, another student guessed. Also correct. But what happens when a human is angry or protecting something important? The students looked confused. Doohan smiled and turned on the classroom screen. Let me show you something. The video began to play. It showed Hana sleeping in her chair. Then the Nexus Ripper breaking through the door. Then the creature approaching her. The students gasped when they saw the monster. Even in a video, Nexus Rippers were terrifying. Watch carefully, Doohan said. The video showed Hana waking up. Her annoyed expression, her casual grab of the metal chair, the lazy swing that killed the monster instantly. The classroom was completely silent. This video is real, Doohan said. I was there. I watched it happen. The human's name is Hana. She was 19 years old. She was studying art, and she had just been woken up from a nap. One student raised her arm. Professor, how is this possible? That, Doohan said, is what we are here to learn. Across the galaxy, similar classes were happening on dozens of worlds. On Kortha Prime, Taeho was training new security officers. The lesson was about threat assessment. Never judge danger by appearance, Taeho told his class. I made this mistake once. I thought humans were soft because they sleep in the open. I thought they were weak because they look small. He showed them the same video. This human weighed maybe 120 pounds. The chair she used weighed 60 pounds. She swung it like it was made of paper. The force of impact was measured at over 3,000 pounds. A young Korthon officer raised his hand. Sir, what should we do if we meet a human? Be very, very polite, Taeho said. In the Galactic Council building, Jae-woo sat in his office reading reports. He was the council's expert on human affairs. His job was to help other species understand Earth's people. But every day, that job got harder. The reports on his desk were all about humans doing impossible things. A human miner on Kepler-5 had lifted a fallen beam that should have taken 10 aliens to move. A human tourist on Proxima Station had broken a door by pushing it too hard. A human child had accidentally crushed a gift from an alien friend just by hugging it, and then there was Hana's video. Jae-woo had watched it hundreds of times. He had studied every frame. He had read all the expert reports. The conclusion was always the same. This should not be possible, but it was real. Jae-woo's communicator buzzed. It was a call from the Andromeda Sector, Military Command, Counselor. Jae-woo, the voice said, we need to discuss the human situation. What about it? Our scientists have been studying that video. The one with the girl and the Nexus Ripper. Yes. We want to know if this is normal human behavior. Jae-woo thought about all the reports on his desk. Define normal. We mean, can all humans do this? Kill apex predators with furniture while half asleep? I honestly do not know, Jae-woo said. Humans are difficult to study. We need to know because we are changing our military protocols. Any ship with humans on board is now classified as a potential threat level 7. Threat level 7. That was the same classification as battleships. That seems extreme, Jae-woo said. Is it? We have reports of human children accidentally breaking security doors. Human workers moving equipment that requires machines to lift. And now this video of a sleeping student killing our worst nightmare with a chair. Jae-woo could not argue. With that. Meanwhile, on Earth, Hana was completely unaware of her fame. She was sitting under a tree on her university campus. It was a warm spring day. She had a book in her lap, but she was not reading it. She was taking a nap. This was normal for Hana. She napped everywhere. Under trees, in the library, in coffee shops. Her friends were used to it. Hyun-woo walked up to her. He was her classmate in art history. He sat down next to her and shook her shoulder gently. Hana, he said, wake up. Hana opened one eye. What? Did you see the news today? What news? Someone posted a video online. It's about a human student at a space station. She killed some kind of alien monster. Hana opened both eyes. Really? Yeah. The video has millions of views. Everyone is talking about how strong and dangerous humans are. Hana sat up a little. That's weird. I know, right? I mean, we're not that scary. Look at us. We're just sitting under a tree. Hana looked around the campus. Students were walking to class. Some were reading books. Others were talking with friends. Everyone looked normal and peaceful. Did they say which space station? Hana asked. Some place called Kepler-7. Hana thought about this. The name sounded familiar. She had done an exchange program somewhere like that. Do you remember anything interesting happening during your exchange program? Hyun-woo asked. Hana tried to remember. Not really. It was pretty boring, very quiet. Compared to Seoul, I slept a lot. Nothing exciting, no adventures. Well, Hana said slowly, there was this one day when some kind of alarm went off. I think there was a gas leak or something, but I was really tired, so I just went back to sleep. Hyun-woo stared at her. A gas leak? Yeah? Someone came and cleaned up some mess while I was napping. When I woke up, everything was back to normal. Hyun-woo pulled out his phone. He showed Hana the video. Hana watched herself sleeping. She watched the monster break through the door. She watched herself swing the chair. Oh, she said that. Hyun-woo's voice got very loud. You killed a space monster, and you forgot about it. It was interrupting my nap, Hana said. I was really tired that day. Some students nearby heard Hyun-woo shout. They looked over at Hana. Is that her? One of them whispered. The girl from the video. No way, said another. She looks too normal, but look at her hands. Look how she's sitting. She could probably break that tree in half. The students started backing away slowly. Hana noticed them staring. Why is everyone acting weird? Hana Hoyen-woo said carefully, "You are famous. You are the most famous human in the galaxy. For killing a bug. That was not a bug. That was a Nexus Ripper. The most dangerous predator in known space." Hana looked at the video again. "It was pretty big," she admitted. "And you killed it with a chair. It was a good chair, heavy." Around the campus, more students were gathering. Word was spreading that the famous Death Welder girl was here. Some students were taking pictures. Others were keeping their distance. A group of alien exchange students appeared at the edge of the crowd. They looked nervous but curious. "Is that really her?" one of them asked. "The human who kills monsters?" asked another. "She looks so small," said a third dot. Hana saw the alien students and waved. "Hi, are you new here?" The aliens jumped back like she had thrown something at them. "Very peaceful," one of them said quickly. "We are very peaceful beings." "Okay," Hana said. She was confused, but she waved again. The aliens ran away. "This is going to take some getting used to," Hyen-woo said. Hana shrugged. "I just want to finish my nap." She lay back down under the tree and closed her eyes. In seconds, she was sleeping again. The crowd of students stayed at a safe distance. They watched the most dangerous human in the galaxy take a peaceful nap under a tree on a spring day, and across the universe. The legend of the Death Welder girl continued to grow, but Hana just kept sleeping, dreaming of quiet afternoons and comfortable chairs. Some things, after all, never change.